watching Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earning for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future we can't vanish. It's 225 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, thank and fans on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Well.
Yeah.
My stream didn't lag. My stream didn't lag. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. This is the match preview for our game tomorrow away at Everton. It's an honor to have once again on the channel Mike from Blue Boys Network. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, probably not quite as good as you guys, but I'm doing okay, mate. I've hurt my wrist in a football tournament yesterday, but we will keep moving, brother. How are you? How's life down at Crystal Palace?
It's definitely good. It's definitely good at the moment. Had a good win on Thursday night in the Conference League. So, yeah, can't complain right now. Things are looking up. Obviously, you know, I'm going to give you your shine. I'm going to give you a moment because for those who may not have known, Liverpool have just lost again. You know, and obviously as an Everton fan, you must be over the moon.
Well, you started the trend, mate. You found the magic. Everton put in a very good second half performance against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and Palace managed to kick it on a notch. And ever since then, they've looked ropey at best. So yeah, mate, buzzing, and that ultimately, surely gives you guys the hunger for tomorrow because. You know,
we win tomorrow, we go second.
Second?
Yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy. Before we get into the topics, big up the dog. He says, "What's up? You're very nervous about tomorrow. You are not the only one, by the way." Guarav, big up to you as well. He said, "Liverpool lost, get in." He also says, "Big up to us both." Big up Pat says, "Big up Mr. Muscles and Mike." Mike, do you want to answer this question?
I mean, look at the size of me, mate. I am partial to cookie dough, to be fair. So forget everything else. Let's just go with Ben and Jerry's cookie dough.
So you wouldn't ever have the other option?
No, forget it. No, just go with cookie dough.
Good lad, you didn't fall for it. Well done, lad. Well done. Pat's been trying to get every guest to fall for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's who we've got so far. Let's get into it. Obviously, this season you've made the move. As an Everton fan, what did Goodison Park mean to you? And also, what would you say was your best moment from Goodison Park?
So I mean, look, Goodison meant everything. You know, just like, you know, Sellers Park would mean everything to you guys. But at some point, you have to move on. Now, look, in terms of best moments at Goodison, look, I didn't see Everton win trophies, unfortunately. You know, my dad did, my grandparents did. You know, historically, Everton are a big club, but we haven't won anything in my real time. 33 years old. We've won an FA Cup in 95. I was 3. So, you know, it's not like I'm sitting here remembering those. But
still counts. Still counts.
Yeah, but we did have some nice nights under the lights. You know, it's always nice to beat Liverpool. There was a particular night where we beat Chelsea in the FA Cup. That was nice. Romelu Lukaku lit up Goodison that night. I mean, there's been a few good nights. Duncan Ferguson scoring the header, the really key header to get Everton Champions League football in 2004-05. That was a big one. But ultimately, look, my special memory at Goodison Park is my first game with my dad and my granddad. Everton won 5-0 against West Ham, and Kevin Campbell got the first goal. So look, it's very touching to me, you know, about Kev obviously, but then also the result. And that's it really. But look, to go to your next bit, did we need to move? Yeah, look, Everton fan base is incredibly ambitious. We want to get back to where, you know, we were a long time ago. And we want to see success again. You unfortunately can't do that at Goodison Park. It was too dilapidated, and although it has a history, it doesn't have the corporate structure, the nice seating, the ability to generate additional income outside football. Whereas the Hill Dickinson Stadium, as horrendous as the name is, Bramley Moor does have that. So yeah, it needed to happen. And look, I know you go in tomorrow, touch wood, obviously trains and wind and all sorts, but
Yeah.
for any Palace fans going tomorrow, you will. I'm very confident you'll be blown away tomorrow, because she's a magnificent football stadium, and she's a true football stadium. She gives you a very similar feel to what Goodison did. So look, in the nicest possible way, I hope you don't enjoy Goodison. I hope you don't enjoy the new stadium like you didn't enjoy Goodison. But ultimately, Crystal Palace fans have always been great people when they've come up north. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your day out as much as you can without winning, obviously.
No, obviously that is, yeah. I mean, like it has been fun. Obviously, I think minus the one game, the Vieira one, where you came with 3-0 down, I believe it was. No, 2-0 down and 1-3-2. Obviously, there were some nasty scenes at the end of that one, but I think it kind of put a wedge between Palace and Everton fans, which I think now, like Lampard's gone as well, it's kind of just got away now. We're like, oh, we're fine with each other again. Yeah. Obviously, just on the location of the new stadium, obviously we'll see it tomorrow. Because obviously, I know Goodison Park was that park walk through Stanley Park, was it?
Yeah.
Is it a bit further away? Is it closer? Does it take away it won't take away the rivalry, but obviously it's not separated by just a park now. Like, how is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You're right, because Everton and Liverpool were so close together. For Everton, it's going to sound awful. In my opinion, it doesn't mean a great deal. Goodison Park is still Everton Stadium. The Everton ladies team play there. Everton also built Anfield, which is something that people don't realise. Everton were the first club in the city. It wasn't Liverpool. Everton played at Anfield. It was the first ground we played in and owned. So fundamentally, it doesn't matter to us. We're as much as Liverpool have won all the trophies and everything, Everton are the big brother. So ultimately, we are. We are the sort of, it sounds really weird, but we're the custodians of the city in that sense. The local fan community tends to be Everton fans. Liverpool, obviously, just because of their global footprint, they have, less local fans. And obviously, I'm not a local fan, but my family all originate from Liverpool, etc. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just a case of, it hasn't changed much for me. All it has done is demonstrate that Everton is still a huge club, if you get what I mean. And we're no longer anywhere near their shadow. We're now trying to step out of their shadow.
Sure. I mean, Tim's got a question for you here. How do you feel about Jacob Ryan? Because obviously he was with us before he went to Lyon, and then he went to...
Yeah, I love him.
I mean, we've liked him as like a centre-back when we had him, but he's been playing right-back for you, hasn't he? Like, how's that worked out?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, he's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant at right back. He can't cross. He can't cross.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, but he can. He can get in at the back post. He's physical. He's quick. He's been great. Ultimately, he will play centre back, but Everton don't have a right back, and Jacob Bryant's just really acquitted himself really well. So yeah, he's done a great job there, to be honest here.
Absolutely. And one last thing before we talk about your season so far. Branthwaite, what's happened with him? He's kind of like, is it another injury?
Yeah, so we picked up an injury before we went to America in the pre-season tour, well, over 2 months ago now. And he just hasn't recovered. He'll be training on the grass after the international break, and we'll probably have him back by, I'd say, November, middle of November, once he's fully fit. The issue we've got is Michael Keane's playing really well, so
yeah,
I don't know how he just walks back in, to be honest.
Sure. But are his injuries a concern? Because he picks up a fair few.
Yeah, his injuries are a concern, but they are for me. He does tend to pick up one decent injury every season, and then he'll have the odd knock here and there. And you don't know whether it sounds awful, but it's an age thing, an adaptation thing, whatever it is. But ultimately, I think this probably needs to be his last relatively big injury for a while, because he'll start getting the stigma that he's injury prone and all those things. And then if Everton want to sell him, it hurts the value, doesn't it? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, but yeah, ultimately he'll be back soon enough.
Absolutely. Big up to Earth, who obviously reiterated the fact that if we win tomorrow, we'll go second, which is still crazy to me. Big up Thunder. Not only, as he said, make sure to smash the like button, please. And also, guys, and click the link in the description and also in the title to Mike's Blue Boys Networks. Great guys. Honestly, I did message Wolfie. I said we need to get Beat the Drop back, and we could host it. We could host it.
Mate, honestly, you and Bournemouth would be round, wouldn't you? I mean, it's absolutely laughable, mate.
It's crazy at the moment. Thunder also mentioned there Weston's Somerville and Diouf on the left, Jake O'Brien ragged.
Yeah, they did, but ultimately Jake O'Brien was absolutely left exposed last week by Lilleman and Jai. So it was a 2v1 job. Somerville was brilliant, to be fair to him. So yeah, I mean, he didn't have a good game, but ultimately we didn't draw that game because of Jake O'Brien. We drew that game because we couldn't score. So I mean,
that makes sense.
We are where we are.
Let's talk about that your season so far, because I think you've had a very sound start. I generally think, obviously, outside looking in, you should have had more points than you have, personally. And obviously, you have mentioned the fact that the inability to score goals. How have you seen the season so far?
Yeah, I'll to be honest, I've been disappointed. I've been disappointed. We went on international break the first time, and Everton were in a really good space, really good place, and we really sort of were on the front foot, scoring goals. We've come back after an international break, and we've struggled. We haven't won in our last 4 games. We've been knocked out the Carabao Cup. You know, there was a draw against Villa in there, which when Villa hadn't scored a goal, Everton at the Hill Dickinson, we should have won that game. Really poor first half performance against Liverpool in a game that ultimately I actually still think we could have got something out of. We went away to Wolves and lost. And then, you know, you 1-0 up against a West Ham team that have recently sacked their manager, Graham Potter. Nuno's had 2 days to implement anything, and they've managed to come away with a draw. So, yeah, look, I'm disappointed, because I think Everton, in my opinion, Everton should have 4 more points than they've got at least. There was a poor performance against Leeds at the start of the season. So look, I get why people are sitting and watching Everton and going, oh yeah, they're much better than they were, because we absolutely are. But if you haven't got a striker that can put the ball in the net consistently, you can have the best. You can have the spoon can be made of silver, but it's still a spoon. Do you get what I mean? It's not going to dig in. It's not going to get anything. It's not going to do any damage. So, you know, it's you know, Drewsbury Hall, NGI, Jack Grealish are all fantastic players, but ultimately you need Beto and Barry to put the ball in the net, and neither of them have. So, and that's Everton's fundamental problem. I said it on TalkSport at the start of the season. I said it on Sky. When you've got those players, you need to make sure that you're supplying, that you can score the goals that their supply will generate, and we haven't done that, in my opinion.
Sure. You mentioned Dewsbury Hall. He's now suspended for this game.
Yeah.
Does that mean there'll be kind of like a tactical a shift? Could it be a formation change or just positional change with your players?
So it depends what he will do. So potentially he could. So he can either put Jack Grealish in at 10, Tyler Diblin on the right, and Lindemann and Jai on the left.
That's what I'm dreading, because I think Njai is very good on the left, personally, and he was against us last season at Goodison on the left.
Yeah, I mean, that ultimately is what I would prefer. I would prefer that to happen. The other alternative is he leaves it as he is and he throws in Carlos Alcaraz, who scored obviously against you guys at Selhurst Park last season, I think it was, towards the end. So yeah, either way, I'm okay with the team. But ultimately, I still look, irrespective of anything Everton do tomorrow, this game is incredibly tough. And you know, we probably haven't touched on it enough. Everton are going up against a team that is unbeaten. Let me just refresh you all, Palace fans. You're unbeaten in 19 games. The smile on your faces is thoroughly deserved, and you should be. You should be incredibly proud. Like you know,
Oh yeah, we definitely are.
you should be, and you absolutely should be. It's so nice to see a Crystal Palace side that everyone had this stigma. Oh, Crystal Palace are going to finish 12th. Crystal Palace are going to finish, and it was almost the same every season. Oh, Palace finished 12th. 12th. The team that Glasner inherited, developed, nurtured, changed is absolutely sensational. And the other thing to mention is, you know, every season or every couple of seasons, you might lose a player. You know, you might, you know, Michael Elise or whoever it is, Eze. But look how you've adapted. Look how you changed. Look how you nurtured. Look how you grew. Honestly, I think the job that Glasner has done in particular has been sensational. But I think this has been a building process for a while now at Palace, and I think you're starting to see the fruition of it. And also, look, I know there'll be score predictions and whatever, but just to give you a little hint, I don't think you lose tomorrow.
I don't like that you've said that. You know what it is, and trust me, the Palace fan base. The first thing you mentioned is that your strikers can't put the ball in the back of the net. It will be typical Palace that they do that tomorrow. You say that you're not literally. You say that you don't expect us to win. It will be typical Palace to make you have your first win in. Like, there's always a typical Palace sort of thing, you know. Unfortunately, I mean,
you also though, like, you know, after 19 games unbeaten, that typical Palace element has gone. Like it has gone. There has been games where you guys could have fallen off, or something happened, or a banana skin, or some form of issue. You know, the cup game, I think, was it Millwall? You know, and that wasn't a result that you necessarily would want, but you didn't lose. You know, you managed to, and that's the point I make. Crystal Palace have now got a resilience to get a result in games, which they might not have had in years gone by. And I'm really impressed by how that's happened with Palace this season. Looks like Rich is. I don't know what's going on in there.
I know my wife's talking to a friend and she's excited or heard some news or something. She's always screaming, "Ah!" Like, calm down.
Yeah, that's you after you score your third tomorrow.
She doesn't care about football, unfortunately. I'm working on it, though. I am working on it. Look, Jack Grealish, what a loan signing that is. Is it some... I don't know, like, obviously, the wage system, the wage structure that you're holding on. Is he a player you think you can keep hold of beyond this season?
Yeah. So ultimately, you know, the finances that the new owners have put in place, the commercial deals that Everton now have with the stadium, especially, but also around the stadium, the sponsorship, the corporate stuff. Jack Grealish could easily stay at Everton going forward. The issue you actually have is it's the value of Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish this season, the feel-good factor, the shirt sales is monumental. But how long does that stay? You know, how long is it? Oh my God, we've got Jack Grealish. Because we did it recently. We had James Rodriguez 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and that was a similar, oh my God, we've got James Rodriguez. But ultimately, at some point, that does wear out, and he just becomes Jack Grealish Everton player rather than, oh my God, it's Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
So Look, I think if he keeps up his performances, then that would be brilliant. I'd be over the moon. And the crossing, the deliveries, but ultimately we need a striker to put those goals away. Otherwise, Jack Grealish being at the club, he sounds awful, but he's almost a waste of time because we're not getting the best out of him, and we've seen that over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Jack Grealish started great. There was optimism around the team. There was goals around the team. But now that sort of has died off, we're not seeing the same Jack Grealish. We're not seeing the same goals output, and we're not seeing the same sort of situations. We're seeing stop the ball, pass it right, stop the ball, pass it right. What we want to see is him beating his man, delivering across, beating his man and getting a shot off. And we're not seeing enough of those two things at the minute. So, yeah, I love Jack. I absolutely love Jack. And there's definitely, in terms of football IQ, he's the best we've got. But I want to see more before we make any judgments about signing him, because it's not going to be cheap.
Sure, no, that makes sense. Tim here says that Grealish at Everton is another of the feel-good stories of the season so far. Going to be a challenge for Richards and Munoz tomorrow.
The thing is, both of those players are fairly quick, aren't they?
Yeah, and to be fair, Ismail Assar will help support as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got 3 rapid players or quick players against a slower Jack Grealish, a very clever Jack Grealish, but a slower Jack Grealish. So I actually think your problem tomorrow is Illiman and Jai on the right. I don't actually think your problem's Jack Grealish tomorrow. I think you need to swap over to the other side, because I think he's the one that's going to do the damage, if I'm being honest. Sure. If there's damage to do.
Yeah. And big up to Chris for Wines says he's got Palace winning tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Earth, we mentioned it at the start. Definitely happy about it.
Yeah.
Definitely happy. Let's do a combined 11. Why not?
Yeah.
So, as per usual, you get to pick the formation. You get to decide who goes in the team. The only caveat is that there must be 3 players from each side.
Okay.
So you can't pick a full Palace team, because I know you really wanted to do that.
Okay, fine. Well, manager is Glasner.
Lovely, jubbly. Where's the formation stuff here? Is it this one? There it is. What formation would you like?
Or 5-1.
As in a flat 5?
Well, you'd sort of 2 of them would be attacking, but we can make that look.
We can move it around. Yeah, we can move it around. Cool. All right. Your goalkeeper. Oh, this is a tough one. I expected you to have said that.
I know. Look, I get people are going to say Henderson. I get it, and ultimately Henderson's a fantastic goalkeeper. But Jordan Pickford has probably kept Everton in the Premier League for the last 3 years, and he very rarely makes a mistake for England. So for me, just at that point, it's still Pickford. But look, there is no disrespect on Henderson whatsoever. He's fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I think this is going to be the closest Pickford's been pushed in the England squad as well.
Agreed.
That goalkeeping battle is going to be very interesting between the two. But
yep,
as you said, for England, Pickford's done nothing wrong personally. So yeah, who's your right back?
Whoever you want it to be from Palace, because it's not an Everton one.
Yeah, it will be Daniel. Yes.
Okay.
He's unreal. His energy levels are stupid. Right, your 2 centre backs.
It's Gay and Branthwaite for me. Simple as that.
Branthwaite's more left foot support game, right?
Now, obviously, there's a caveat that this is based on best 11s rather than them playing currently. So unless you've got that caveat in there, because if it was genuinely from an Everton perspective, it'd be Michael Keane at the minute, which is mad, isn't it? It's T Brandt.
NT.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, gotcha. I don't know why I thought there was a D in there. Eh. Your left back.
Your left back again. I'm not bothered. It's not Mikolenko.
Mitchell goes in there. Okay, we'll start on the right hand side for your midfield.
This. So look.
This is where it does get tricky.
So look. So I'm looking at the Palace team, right? Who would you ordinarily play on the right?
Ismail Assar.
He's got to go in.
I'm trying to think. Can we do Sarr, Grealish, and Dye?
So let me give you the 5. Can I give you the 5 in my mind?
Go for it. Yeah.
Sarr, Wharton, Shrewsbury Hall, Grealish, Enjoy.
We'll just switch.
That's with Wharton and Shrewsbury Hall sitting as like 6s and 8s.
You know what I'll do then? I'm going to quickly make this a 4-2-3-1. Oh, I can't move until I've actually added a player. That's a bit annoying. Dewsbury. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Similar to how Ekatike got himself suspended.
Yeah.
I was so happy Dewsbury Hall suspended. And you know what's mad? I don't even think it was a booking.
It wasn't his 2 yellow cards in the last 2 weeks have been a joke. One for a free kick, a quick free kick. He got a yellow card.
I am spelling this wrong, aren't I?
I-A-Y-E.
Yep. So that will put Grealish here.
Do you agree with that, by the way?
Because we've got Daichi Kamada, who's been unbelievable,
mate.
We've also got Yeremy Pino, who signed this year, who's been very good as well.
Yeah, you see, so James Garner's been brilliant for us as well.
That's a good point. Garner's good as well.
But ultimately, if you're looking at the names and you're looking at I mean that team is fantastic. By the way, who agreed on Mateta? I mean, I'm sticking. I'm joking.
No, you know what? For quite a few of these combined 11s, Mateta will just have to be there.
Do you know what's worse? Right, I said this. Everton were linked with Mateta 3 years ago for £2 million.
Yeah.
Like, where has he come from in that sense? Like, what
his transformation was mad. It was absolutely crazy. But yeah, to answer your question, I think if I was the only change I would make, and that's no slander on this player, because I do like him, that would be Kamada. That's even to the whole Henderson Pickford one, I can't really even be too mad about it and stuff. So
yeah, so ultimately there's not loads in it, is there?
Nah, it really isn't. This is a good side, you know. It's a very good side. And look, that's 6 England internationals too. And Tuchel then goes and starts picking the wrong players. No Wharton, no Grealish. Mental.
Mate, honestly, look, the less I think about Tuchel, the better.
You know, absolutely mental. Right, let's see what some of the others have been saying. So the biggest quality of the weekend has been Liverpool. They should be undefeated and winning the treble with the players they brought in. Laugh out loud, popcorn emojis. Chris is definitely loving it, and we're enjoying it too, 100%. Big Dog saying, "Have Grealish?" I said, "Yeah, we did pretty much what we did as well."
Yeah.
Also saying Gay for Dewsbury Hall and Henderson for Pickford. Gay, he doesn't get, does he? I feel like he's one of those unsung heroes. Like he just does a job.
So he's absolutely brilliant, right? He is. He's brilliant. But you know, when you're talking about your best 11, there is players that are going to create more for you, and I think there has to be a big emphasis on creation at the minute, because a lot of teams aren't scored. You know, we're not seeing 4, 5, 6-0 this season. We're seeing 1-0, 2-0, 2-1s. I personally, if I was a football manager, I'd rather win like 4-3 or 3-2 than 1-0. And I know it might sound a bit, but like I want to see football.
Yeah.
The team that we put together there are all ballers. Every single one is a baller.
The technical ability is crazy.
Whereas a Drissagana guy is very much wins the ball, lays it off. He's simple. He's quality, but he's simple. He'll be brilliant.
He's like our Will Hughes.
Exactly. He is exactly like your Will Hughes. He's exactly. It's not pretty on the eye, but it is effective.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Thoughts on tomorrow's game? How do you see it going? I know you've already said that you reckon we would win. Areas
I think to draw. Oh,
okay. Apologies for preempting. Sorry. Which areas do you think you would cause us problems? Which areas do you think will cause you problems?
So look, ultimately, I think Grealish will cause problems. I think Njai will cause problems. I think the fast transition will cause problems. But look, ultimately, I think Crystal Palace are a very good football team, and I think they're actually underrated, significantly underrated. And it's only just now that people are starting to look at them. Crystal Palace are coming into this game as not just the form side in the Premier League, but the form side in Europe. There is no team that is currently on the same run as Palace. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Palace on 19 games and then Bayern Munich, I think, on 9.
9 or 10, yeah.
It's that, something like that. So ultimately, Crystal Palace coming to the Hill Dickinson and losing would be a surprise. So Everton have got to keep in the game. They've got to use that mentality complex that unfortunately some of you Palace fans still seem to have when it comes to Everton, because you all still are panicking about playing the team that hasn't won in the last 4 games. There is a real sense of worry playing Everton, whereas you guys need to brush that off and go into this game just going, we're going to batter you tomorrow because you're not as good as we are. That's what you need to do. Ultimately, I think it's going to be a battle in midfield. I think you'll hurt us from an attacking perspective. I think we'll probably hurt you from an attacking perspective. But ultimately, neither team concede loads of goals. Neither team scored loads of goals either. I think you've scored 8, we've scored 7. We've conceded 4, you've conceded 3 or something like that. But ultimately, I think this has got 1-1 written all over it.
No, that's fair. I've gone for 2-1 Palace.
Yeah, as you should, by the way. Like, as you should.
Yeah. And I'm just hoping that the Hill Dickinson Stadium factor plays a part. Because if we... I mean, I'll be honest with you, I will take a point. Because before the Liverpool and Everton games, I said, give me 4 points. And those 4 points was a draw with Liverpool, beating Everton. Now, granted, you'll think, oh, you've done the hard bit. Go and get another 3 points. But I always say, Everton away for us for some reason is never an easy game. So we're just going to obviously hope we just don't lose. Just don't lose.
I mean, the expectations is different for both clubs as well. So, for example, Everton, you know, look, we want to have a solid season and progress. You guys are playing in Europe, so you know, I don't like the whole thing that happened with Forest and whatever. But ultimately, and I think I did say this to you, but I think I spoke to you in the summer about it.
Yeah.
Being in the Conference League, I think you win that competition. Right, so that's your expectation. That's
our expectation, to be honest. Yeah,
I think you win it. Right, so I don't see this as a negative that you're being in that competition. I see it as a positive. So what you then need to do, and it again sounds silly, you almost probably could get away with throwing away the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Just concentrate on your Europe games.
Not with our manager.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But concentrate on Europe, concentrate on the league, and one of them will end up with you playing Europa League football next season. I am convinced of it. I don't think you'll get Champions League. That's not a dig at Palace, but I think if they have some injuries, I think there's a problem. You've also got this issue around Gay in January.
All summer,
You could see.
And AFCON coming up as well.
AFCON as well. It affects both teams quite badly, to be honest. We lose Njai and Ghana as well. So I sort of want to see Palace just kicking on. I just don't want you to do it this week. I want your record to end and then you can start again.
No, that's fair. That is fair enough. Last few questions before we wrap up. Tim Martin, haven't seen much. How much Dibbler has played? Is he getting minutes?
No, he's played very little. And I think the problem with Dibbling was he looked like a very extraordinary big quality fish in an incredibly small pond. He's came to Everton. I think it's been a bit of a shock for him. There's definitely a player in there, but it's not enough to get in over Njai and Jack Grealish at the minute. So, unless one of them plays in the 10, you don't see him at the minute. So,
what's your take on Mateta getting his first international call-up?
Oh, mate, honestly, you can't dislike Mateta. You just can't dislike. There is
such a character.
Certain players in the Premier League, right, that you just can't hate, and Mateta is one of them. So, look, really happy for him. Thoroughly deserved. He probably should have got it last season, if we're all being completely honest.
To be fair, we were shocked he got it this time because Deschamps doesn't pick players outside the Champions League. So look at when Michael Olise was performing. Never got a call-up.
Yeah, no. So look, ultimately, I'm chuffed for him, and I hope again it just makes him kick on a little bit more. You know, he might even go up that next step. Because how old is he? How old is Mateta?
27, 28.
Oh, so he's you're laughing. You lot are in a great position, aren't you?
Let me just make sure. 28, yes, 28.
Yeah, what position to be in?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be difficult to keep him in the summer, to be honest. Personally,
the problem is, where does he go?
Maybe an AC Milan, something like that.
It sounds weird, but he suits Palace so much. We've seen this before. You know, Christian Benteke moved from Villa to go to Liverpool. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Romelu Lukaku left Everton to go to Man United. Didn't work. You see very often these players that are brilliant go to these so-called bigger teams, and it doesn't work out. So for me,
that's true.
Mateta should stay at Palace or join Everton. That would be nice.
Go away. TCD saying here, he reckons that 2-1 Palace and Nketiah last minute winner. We'll take that again, 100%. Victor says, how much does Glasner change, or does he start the same 11 but with Sarr and Mitchell? Yes. Wait, what did we start against Liverpool? Yeah, because it was Wharton Kamada against Liverpool. So yeah, I think he goes back to that same lineup against Liverpool. Tim saying it would honestly take 1-1 all day long, given recent history of Everton, but I'm hoping for 2-1 or 3-1 Palace and Pino getting off the mark. And Pino was brilliant on Thursday. He was absolutely brilliant on Thursday. So yeah, Mike, thank you once again. Guys, like I said, please click the link in the description or in the title. Please subscribe to the Blue Boys Network and go and check them out. Great guys doing great work for Everton, and always such a well-rounded, knowledgeable, and humble discussion.
Just perfect stream there. The food's banging, mate. So,
what do you recommend then? Because I'll look up.
So to be fair, so for £9 they do like a big pizza, which is decent in a football stadium, or you can get for like, I think it's £9. You can get like chicken and chips in a box. So don't get me wrong, it's fairly pricey, but
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
kind of what you expect.
you Londoners, you know what it's like. You pay the big bucks all the
We
time.
do.
Unfortunately, you guys get drafted everywhere.
Absolutely. Tim saying, big up, Mike. Good luck after tomorrow, which is obviously sentiments shared. Guys, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, share the channel, go subscribe to Blue Boys Network. I think we're going to go do a little recording or show ourselves now. Would it live or pre-record?
No, pre-record. Literally, we'll get it done, and then it'll be out by 9 o'clock.
Sweet. We'll get that done ASAP. And yeah, we're on the train, fingers crossed, up to Merseyside for the game. And Nikki will be doing a watch along. So a lot of content to look forward to for this game alone. Guys, smash the like button. Thank you for your support. I know, yes, if you haven't seen the vlog, Dan did a vlog for the Dino Kiev game. Quality vlog. He was definitely wasted. 100%. Appreciate you all. And as always, up the palace.